Hey, welcome. We're here again today. This is Thursday. It's day 3. And we're on a bit later because we had technical difficulties earlier. So we kind of scrapped that earlier recording. We're doing this again. And I'm here today with Kristen Robinson. And today we're going to be talking about how Kristen actually uses Facebook Live to, well, actually, she can tell you about it. She's going to talk about how she uses Facebook Live in her groups and uses it to nurture her tribe. So I'm Carolyn Shadrach, and so my background is actually working with Fortune 500 companies, helping them to build their brands and brand stories as a New York-based fashion designer. And now I actually work with creative entrepreneurs and helping them to get clarity on their story and how they can use their story to get more visibility and connect with their clients. So let me just bring on Kristen here. So Kristen Robinson. Hey, Kristen.
Hi.
Kristen Robinson is she's the author of Facebook Ad Secrets Guide, and she's also the founder of KR Design, and that's a company that helps $1 million entrepreneurs, consultants, and companies to effectively and efficiently use social media to. Oh my God, I'm terrible at reading this. To save hours of company time.
Oh,
so welcome, Kristen. Hey.
Hello.
And so actually, just before we get on, let's see. I wanted to give you the secret word today. So the secret word today is actually connection, because we're going to be talking about how you can connect to your clients. And if you type that in at the end of this recording, then you can actually be entered to win a $500 prize. And just type that in when we say. So the word is actually connection. So today, as I said, we're going to be talking about Facebook Live and how you can actually use it to nurture your tribe, as well as we're going to be talking about some of the mistakes that people, entrepreneurs actually make when they are using Facebook Live and how you can actually avoid them. So, Kristen, welcome.
Hi.
It's been a long time. We had a lot of technical issues, but we're glad that you're here. And so tell us actually how you got started and how you actually work with people in social media, as that's your thing.
Oh gosh. Okay. So how I got started basically with social media was, I'm a military spouse. My husband is in the Marine Corps, and I needed a way to market my business. I wasn't really sure how to do that, because when you're new, you got to know someone to kind of get you in, if you're local. And I didn't know anybody to get in. So I started using social media. And believe it or not, I actually started using social media to attract the local people, mostly, which was kind of funny. And then my influence started spreading outward and more online. And I started attracting clients outside of the local area. So I did a little backwards. Most people, when they start on social media, they're like already have a local presence and they're going, outside. And me, I was starting inside. So
right. That's interesting, actually, because a lot of people think that they can't use social media for local things, so it's more like a global thing.
Exactly.
So that's how you got started, and now you actually have you work with people, particularly mostly with Facebook.
Well, Facebook ads. So how I got into Facebook ads was.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Actually, I got caught for a second there.
So with Facebook ads, what happened was I kind of knew who my ideal client was, but I wanted to use more advanced tactics to attract them, and so that's how I got started with Facebook ads.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because you can be very targeted with Facebook ads in terms of the people that you want to reach. That's the amazing thing about it. And everyone's actually on there as well. We did talk about that earlier. The fact that, all age groups are there, like for my mum, she's going to be actually 80 this year, and she kind of hops on Facebook every now and then as well as as low as my kids. So, okay. So that's how you use Facebook ads. And what I wanted you to talk to you about today was about how you actually use Facebook Live within Facebook to actually,
I mean, of course, so this is, I know, right? Silent. Sorry. Sorry, everybody.
So you use Facebook Live to actually kind of within your groups, and we talked actually because we were talking about groups. So there's the difference between the closed, there's the open groups, the closed groups, and then the private groups.
Secret groups.
I think secret groups. That's right. So and people get confused about what is the difference between those different types of groups.
Right. So open is basically the best way to describe it. It's like a pool. You can see the bottom, which means you can see who's in it. You can see the content that's being posted. You see everything. The only thing you need to do is click the button to join the group. So you literally see everything. There's no hidden transparency. And you can find it on Facebook, right? The open group.
Right.
Closed groups, the only difference between a closed group and an open group is a closed group, you can only see your friends that are in that group. That's the only thing. It's still searchable on Facebook. You can't see the content at all either, but you can only see the people who are in that group with you, and that's closed groups. Now, secret groups, go ahead.
No, I'll say potentially. So if you can only see the people that you know that are in that group, so potentially there might be like, I'm just making like 200 people in the group, but if you only know 3 of them, you'd only see 3 people. Exactly.
You see 3 people in the admins. That's it. That's all you see.
Okay, that's interesting. I actually didn't know that, but yeah. And then there's the what do you say? The secret group. Okay.
So those are groups that are not searchable on Facebook. You don't see who's in them. You can't join them because obviously you can't find them. The only way to know about secret groups is if the admin sends you a link. So these groups are perfect if you have like an online program and you want to get everybody together, or even a more simpler way. My family has a secret group. Like all my cousins and my aunts, we have a secret family group where we do updates on family marriages and announcements and stuff like that. So we have a family secret group.
Right. So it's completely private.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And so which groups do you use mostly?
Closed and secret. So with my online programs, of course, when I teach Facebook ads to people, we're all in a secret Facebook group, right? Because they purchased it and I don't want anybody else to find it. So it's a secret group. My Business Empire community, even though it's a free Facebook group community, that is a closed group because I still want it searchable on Facebook. At the same time, I don't want everybody seeing all the content. It kind of defeats the purpose, right? So I want you to come join the group to see what's going on. So that's why it is a closed group.
Okay. So within that closed group, you actually use Facebook Live to do trainings in the group with the people that are in there?
Yeah, everything is delivered Facebook Live in that group. We do a monthly Q&A. We have a monthly guest mentor, guest experts that come in. They do their trainings Facebook Live. And then I deliver a monthly training as well. And those are delivered on Facebook Live. And then about every 90 days this year, we'll be doing a challenge, a 5-day challenge. And those will be featured Facebook Live as well. So everything pretty much is delivered Facebook Live in that group. It's an awesome thing.
Because how long has Facebook Live been actually going? Because I remember, was it last year that, I might think it was the year before, when Periscope came out. Was it last year or the year before? I can't even remember. And then Facebook Live emerged.
Periscope came out last year was 2016. April 2015 is when Periscope came out. And then Facebook Live was live to everybody March of last year.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, okay, so it's last year then. So have you had groups longer than that? And what difference have you seen between the engagement with people when you start to use Facebook Live within your group, as opposed to, I'm imagining that you had your group for longer than that, and that facility wasn't even available.
Right. So we had the Business Empire community about 3 months before Facebook Live came out. So the group is actually a year old now. And let me tell you what the difference was. January, we opened the group and we did our first challenge. And it was a lot of engagement, but it was only, images, right? And email. And that was it. If you did a challenge, it was like, join the Facebook group and see what's in there. And now when we did our second challenge and I was like, okay, every day I'm gonna do a Facebook Live. Oh my gosh, the interaction was so different. People were jumping on and asking questions. I think one of the biggest things I see is it actually allows me to interact with my group members on a way different level than just emails and a post in the group. Like, they can actually see me. They can say hi. Also, it allows us to interact, right? Because we have monthly Q&A. So now instead of jumping on Zoom, right? Another thing they have to learn, it's like, look, I'm going to send you all to one place. Just come in the Facebook
Okay.
group at this time, and you can ask me any question you want for this hour, or you can jump in the Facebook group. It makes it so much easier now because everything is inside the Facebook group. All the
Mm.
trainings, all the guest
Mhm.
experts, you just need to go to one place versus if we didn't have that, it's like, okay, well, join this Zoom link. Okay, go over here for this. Like everything would be so scattered. But now
Yeah.
everything's all in one place. And now that Facebook Live keeps the recordings, they can go back anytime in the search and find something that they missed.
Oh, okay, okay. So that's interesting because I know that sometimes when people build programs, they try to have like forums that are kind of on their separate websites, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually, for me personally, I always found it difficult to kind of get that. Like I'm just not used to a forums thing, and I always felt about really difficult to even get into that kind of culture. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
To get onto Facebook, and so when you can have everything in one place, it makes it a lot easier. So you mentioned earlier that sometimes you take, is that your dog?
Yes. Come here, puppy.
Come here. Got a really cute little puppy.
Yeah, I'm trying to get her. I'm trying to get her to come and say hi, but she's so involved with the blinds right now.
She's hiding out. Well, she did tell me that he's camera shy.
She is.
But I was asking you, so you mentioned that when you do some of these things within your group, that you actually use that material to create things, programs that you use as bonuses.
Exactly. So, for example, the 5-day challenges that we do in the Facebook group, those are now programs, right? They could be mini e-courses. So it's taking all those emails, all those Facebook Lives and bundling them up, and they could be a bonus for a course. Or now they can be a free mini course to grow my email list, which is super cool.
Right.
So that's one way that I take some Facebook Lives. Obviously, I do Facebook Live for my business page, and those are like little mini trainings. And I can bundle those. I've done Facebook Live series, just kind of like what you're doing now. And I've bundled those up and made them bonuses to other programs, or I can actually just sell them alone, as bundles of training. So there's so many different things that you really can do with them. Like for me, a Facebook Live, or I love Periscope, so either way, live streaming. For me, it's one of two purposes. Either I'm monetizing it or it's content. It's going to be one or two, and sometimes it can be both, right? Yeah. So those are pretty much the purposes of a Facebook Live, at least for me when I'm doing them.
And so when you do it, because this is one of the things that we talked about yesterday, we were talking about just when you actually kind of think about what you're going to do in Facebook Live, do you starting out with a strategy? So it's not just you kind of hopping on and you just kind of be out there for the world. You're actually coming out. You have like some intention when you kind of go into it. So when you actually do your, when you have these, your challenges, and then you kind of bundle them up. Like, was that your intention with the first one? I mean, now because you've done a few of them, you probably always know that you're going to do it. But how did that actually emerge?
The challenge we did. So I have a 30-day challenge, and what I did was I took the first 7 days and made that a challenge to start my free Facebook group, and that's how we got started. And then from there, it was just, well, what was the next problem everybody had? So the first challenge was, how do you build your Facebook business page ready for Facebook ads? And then everyone's like, okay, I built it, but there's no engagement on it. And so our first ever challenge with Facebook Live was called the Social Media Engagement Challenge. And that was really cool. And so we bundled that up. I did Facebook Lives and everything like that. And then we had the Get Clients from Facebook Groups challenge. and we did that one, and that was fun. Right. But it didn't start out that way. It was just, what did people want to learn from me? And it kind of goes hand in hand because, like you said, do you have a strategy? And so when I jump on Facebook Live, a lot of it centers around what am I promoting and marketing in my business at the time. So if I have a webinar coming up, I might create a series that leads up to the invitation to the webinar, right? Or if I'm launching a program, I might launch a challenge based on that webinar, which was really based on a series, that, right. Well, let me just give you a really good example because this is probably the best one. So one of my clients asked me, when you promote something on Facebook, like, what do you do? Do you have a checklist? And I was like, no, not really. So I brainstormed 10 ways to promote your business on Facebook. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be a great series, right? What? So I did a series on it on Facebook Live, 10 broadcasts. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? This will be an awesome webinar to teach people. So I did a webinar on it. And so now I have 10 ways to promote your business on Facebook. I have a Facebook Live series that goes with it. I have a checklist that people can download, and it goes with a webinar. And the cool thing, it goes perfectly into my 30-day Facebook business page challenge. It actually leads to that. But it just started with the client saying, hey, how do you do this? And now I've made this training bundle, where it has a webinar, a checklist that goes with it that I can give away. And it's pretty cool. But that's just one way how some of these things just really come about, and how you can use them for other things.
And it all started with the question.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is interesting, because actually I think I've seen that challenge, that checklist actually, because I think the checklist is one of the things that you offer to people when they actually kind of get into the group, right? So the checklist is the first part, and then you have the webinar. Yeah, that's really cool. So I really like this idea that, because basically it's about solving the problems that your people have, right? And so you have to really kind of understand or even listen to what it is, where they are right now, and what the next problem is that they have.
Exactly. And I think, to me, Facebook Live, like I said, either it's monetizing, right? Because I make things to monetize that go in programs and bundles. There's also a content piece, because sometimes I might be inspired by something and I just jump on a Facebook Live, and that's an email to send out to my newsletter to connect with them, on a different level. So there's all kinds of different ways to really do that. Like, for example, the month of November, we had a sponsored charity we were doing. It's called the Veterans Crusader Mission. And they help veterans get their VA benefits and navigate the VA system. And I jumped on Facebook Live pretty much to give updates, because what we were doing was 10% of every sale we made in the month of November for Veterans Day, we donated 10% of our sales. And then for our Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, we donated 50% of our sales. So I jumped on Facebook Live to give people updates. So it was like, hey, we made $3,000 in sales. So we're doing $300 today. Here's where we're at. And I told people, here's our goal, and here's us. And I had a cute little, like a little volcano, so people could see the levels of where we were in different dates. And I jumped on Facebook Live just to inform people, hey, this is where we're at, and this is how we're trying to reach our goal. And
I was the second one. I think I actually I just got a delivery. Keep talking, Kristen. Okay.
And so the best part was, what we ended up doing was, because when we were jumping on Facebook Live and giving updates, what ended up happening was people started donating to this charity because they saw my Facebook Lives. So not only was she getting a portion of our sales, but she was also getting money from just the exposure that she was getting, donations from what she was getting. So that was cool too.
Sorry about that.
No, what I was just saying was, because we updated people on our progress of our donation goal, other people were seeing it. We're like, oh, well, what's the link so I can donate? And so she was getting other donations besides our goal, which was really cool. But that wouldn't have happened if we didn't update people on what we were doing on Facebook Live, and she wouldn't have gotten those extra donations.
Oh, wow. So it really has an impact when you can do that live, and people can really kind of see how the difference that they're making.
Exactly. That was so cool, because she was like, every time you do a Facebook Live, I get a donation. I'm like, sweet. That is so awesome. It was so cool. So cool.
That's pretty amazing that it can be have so much impact. Because I know actually once I have seen some people use this type of thing, like, when you can actually interview people and have two people on at the same time to promote their product launches as well, when they actually have like or they have an event where they're trying to get to people, and it's that same type of idea that you said, that people can actually see things that are actually happening. Exactly. It gives it more kind of momentum. But so what are some of the mistakes that you see that people might actually making with Facebook Live?
This is just it's not really a mistake technically. It's a Kristen pet peeve. So I'll just throw that disclaimer out there.
I'll go with peeve.
Kristen pet peeve. So here's my pet peeve. What I see people doing Facebook Live for their business on their personal profile. And I get it, because on your business page, it doesn't get the same amount of traction on your personal
We both got lost for that. You're back.
Okay, am I back? Okay.
Yeah.
What happens is when you're doing these Facebook Lives from your personal profile, what happens is you are training people to watch you for your business on your personal profile. And what ends up happening is that guess what happens? People are never going to go to your business page, and people are going to spread the word more about you on your personal profile, which in the beginning you think is great because you're going to get all these people, and then you're going to start adding all these friends who are not really your friends. They're just prospects. But the thing is, what people don't realize is you're only allowed 5,000 friends on Facebook. And so when you finally hit that level of 5,000 friends, guess what happens? You're going to have to move people to a business page. How are you going to move all of these people to your business page? And you know, not all of them are going to make it to your business page. And not only do you have to move them, but now you have to train them to go to your business page instead of your personal profile. So at the end of the day, if you, and here's my disclaimer. If you're just trying to run a business and you want to make like $50,000 a year, I don't care. Fine, do it. But if you're trying to do a 6-figure, 7-figure business, this is a huge Band-Aid. Believe it or not, this is how people come to us. They're like, I need to do Facebook ads to people on my personal profile. I'm like, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. And they go, well, what do you mean? You cannot send ads to your friends. Like Facebook, you can only run ads from a business page. And they go, well, how do I move people over? And we actually have to help people migrate from their personal profile to a business page and then start doing their Facebook ads so they can get those people's attentions and get them to there. It's a huge Band-Aid if you are trying to do a 6-figure, 7-figure business. If you're just trying to be a hobbyist and do it part-time, hey, who cares? Do it. But that is what happens. I guess what I'm trying to say is in the short term, I know it's a good thing. You're getting traffic and everything, but in the long term, you are setting your business up for failure. Because you are training people to look at the personal things of you and not training to where they need to be, which is your business page.
Right. That's really interesting. No, because I don't know, like some people actually don't even realize that you can't have more than 5,000 friends on your personal page. But, you know, and some people actually 5,000 might sound like a lot anyway. But, you know. Naya? Mama.
Hello. Cranberries.
We are live right now, Naya, so please go back to.
But also,
no, I didn't.
But also, what ends up happening as well. What you said something I totally forgot I was going to say for a second. But what ends up happening as well is you have people on their personal profile, and it's just like, I don't know. I forgot my thought. I lost it, but it just basically sets you up for failure in the long run.
Well, we're talking about that have that limit of 5,000 people. And for some people, it sounds like a lot. You know, well, some people it sounds like a lot, yeah, but actually, you know, it can happen pretty quickly if you have all the people driving to that page as opposed to
exactly. And that's what I was going to say. So what ends up happening is as you start growing your personal profile with friends at a rapid rate, Facebook will ask you, hey, do you want to change your personal profile to a business page? And you're like, whoa, no, not really. I don't want to. And the thing is, guess what Facebook's going to tell you? Well, here's the thing. You're growing at this really rapid rate. So you must be doing business on your personal profile, which is technically against Facebook terms and conditions. So at this point, you're really stuck. You either got to say yes. And if you ignore it, guess what Facebook does? They will shut you down because that's a violation of their terms and conditions. So not only are you not going to respond and comply and have to turn your personal page over to a business, if you don't comply, they will shut you down, and who knows if you can even start another Facebook profile. So at the end of the day, it is a very long-term Band-Aid, I guess is what I want.
Yeah. So if you actually start doing that on your personal page, there's the risk that you get shut down and completely shut out completely.
Yeah, there's a video going viral right now where Facebook contacted her 3 times and said, do you want to turn your personal profile into a business page? And she ignored it, and Facebook shut down her personal profile. Wow. They were like, nope. Because it's one thing to grow a friend like 1 or 2 or 3 every day, but if you're growing like, if you're growing 25, 30 people per day, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Then, thank you. Then, if you're going by 50, 100 people per day, in 500 days, that's 5,000 people, then yes, Facebook is going to think that you are starting a business on your personal profile, and what are they supposed to think if you're adding 100 people per day or 50 people?
Yeah, no. So I've heard of actually pages being shut down, but I've never heard. I actually didn't even realize that they sometimes give you the option, not that you'd want to do it, but even having the option of transferring your personal page to a business page. How would that even work?
Well, it's Facebook, so voila, right? like a click of a button, it'd be like, whoop, you are a business page now.
This is my dog now. My dog's actually trying to be heard with his little squeaky toy. Sorry. Both of the dogs are getting involved today.
I know, right? So yeah, Facebook can do that. You can technically change your personal profile into a business page. But at the same time, it's like, why would you do that? Why don't you just start with the personal profile and do it the right way instead of trying to beat around the hack in the bush, right? Trying to beat the hack and beat the system. Yeah. If you're going to play on Facebook, unfortunately, these are the rules we have to play by. So you got to play by those rules.
Yeah,
so that's exactly. My pet peeve. That is my pet peeve.
No, well, that's a good one. I mean, because if people actually don't even know about those, because some people don't know, like you said, people come to you and you have to kind of do the band-aid or trying to get people transferred into the one place to the other. But if you don't know, then,
right,
as some people don't, you're going to make those mistakes. So that was really good. Thanks, Kristen.
Yeah.
So how can people actually get hold of you if they wanted to join your groups, or what would they do?
Well, the best way if you want to be a part of the community, it's called the Business Empire Community. If you actually go to businessempirecommunity.com, you will be ushered to a page and you can put your name and email and you'll be ushered to join the group. It's pretty simple. And you can join our group. Like I said, we have monthly Q&A, monthly training, monthly guest experts. And as of this year, hopefully every 90 days, we'll have a challenge that will help you improve your social media.
Right, great. Right, great. Well, it's really great to have you on here. Thank you so much, Kristen. I know we had a lot of technical challenges and children challenges for dogs and children.
I know, right? But we got it done.
We did. Well, thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
So, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. We're actually on a lot later than normal, but as Kristen said, you can reach her by going to her website, which was businessempirecommunity.com, and you can find her there. And so, I hope you've got some value from our broadcast today. But there's lots of good nuggets from Kristen that we went over. And if you did miss the recording live, it will be hosted in the Core Story Branding community. Core Story Branding. Facebook page, actually. So you can go over there and find the recording there. And if you put any comments in the comment section, we will be going back and answering your questions. So do make sure you do that. And then, of course, we always want to thank you for sharing this page as well. So we are here tomorrow again at 12 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. And now is the time, actually, so to type in the word. There was a word that we had, which was the theme for today. So you can type that word in, and that will enter you to win a $500 prize. And that's actually for me to look at all of your branding and your social media and to help you to strategically get better results. So thank you again for being here today. As I said, we're going to be here tomorrow, 12 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Eastern, and I'll see you then. Right. Thanks a lot.